Howdy howdy! In this video I'm gonna show you how to create professional reports for use with Picsara. Stay tuned. So as mentioned, in this tutorial I will cover how to create custom Excel reports, or more specifically, Excel templates that can be used with Picsara. This video is geared towards a user with at least intermediate knowledge in Picsara and Excel. But let us start with a typical example. I have started up Picsara, and as you might be able to see, I have a cross-section of a turbine blade here. So just assume you have a standard procedure where you want to measure something in the same way over and over again. In this particular case, you would like to measure the binding layer and the actual coating level, which is a ceramic layer. So binding, coating, binding, coating. And in a real scenario, you probably do this on different places about 10 times, something like that. So now I've done this 10 times, and this particular one is actually a little bit thicker than the other ones. We see how that ends up. So in the result window, or measurement result window, we can now see every second one is a binding layer, and every second one is the actual coating layer, and I've done it 10 times. So just to demonstrate the end result, I will create a report based on the final result here, so you can see the goal. Okay, so here's the report. So if you look at the values, every second value go into the coating column, and every second one goes into the binding column. Up in the top we have tolerances. I've put my tolerances to be between 100 and 120 for the coating layer, and one of them are actually outside this region and is highlighted with pink color. At the bottom we can see the average and min values for both columns. There's a diagram here where we can see this visual representation. In the top is the magnification of all the measurements, but only if all measurements are done with the same magnification. And there is an image here as well. So this is the final report. Not very advanced, but definitely more than just a dump of all the results. So how is this done? So let's talk a little bit about template files. So to start with, you will find the pre-installed template files in the directory Program Data, Picsara or Omnimet -Excel report templates. And by default, you will find this field statistic template and a few others. So let's have a look at one of them. So simply by double-clicking on it, I will open up the template file. And it consists of 3 different pages. The first page is the final result. It looks like this in this particular case. The second one is used for the raw data that is exported by Picsara. And the third page, at this point, the most important page, includes some instructions for Picsara on what to do. So actually, when you export, the first thing Picsara does is to look at the third page. It can be named anything, but it looks in the third page, so it must include 3 pages. And in B1, it will look for where to put the data. So on the raw data page. And then where to put the first cell on the raw data page. So in this case here, it will put the first data. And then there are some other things for fine-tuning, and I will come back to them later. So the important thing to remember right now is you create a template file, and the final report will be based on the template file. In my particular case, I have started off with a sample template, which I simply created by taking the field statistics and kind of delete everything on the first 2 pages. So one important thing here is if you double click on the template, it will create a new report. But if you right click on the template and choose open, it will actually allow you to edit the template file. So that is a big difference, editing the template file or using it for creating a new file. One tip is template files are always with the same name. So in this case, step 1. But a document created using the same template will add a number after it. And it's maybe a little bit inconvenient here, but if I open it, it will be named 11, and that is because it added 1 to the end of the file name. Next one will be called 2, so 12 in this case. So maybe I should have chosen another thing than 1 at the end. Anyway, let's have a look at this sample template file. So I simply choose open because then I will edit it. And now at this stage, it's empty on the first page. And the second page, well, I left the headers from the previous report. And here I got the instruction file. So this is what we start with. From here, it's actually quite nice to work with some real data. So let's use this template to create a report. So I'm back in Picsara Omnimet, and let's just create a few quick measurements like this. It's not important at this time what I like, so that's enough. And I create a report based on my simple template. Open. Okay. And now you can see the raw data is actually here on the raw data page. And this is what it looks like. So let's open up the template file again. You remember, right click, open. And I got the template file here. So now I will copy the data, a few of them, like this, copy, and paste it here, like this. So now I work in the template file, not in the report file. So now we can close this one down. So let's start with something simple. Let's say I want to copy these cells to the first page. This is the start of my report. So simply, if I want to put them here, I press equal and just click on that particular cell. If I want the next one here, I just do like this. So it's fairly simple. One way you can do this is just to drag out the formula and will automatically just add the number E2, E3, E4, and so on. But there's a little problem here. It will create zeros where there is a blank on this page. So I got a little trick for this, which is if raw data, now it should be if is blank, and we take this cell, then we output nothing. Otherwise, we output the content of the cell, data E8, like this. Okay, of course I did it on the wrong spot, but now if I copy this cell to all the other positions, I need to copy it upwards as well, like this. You see, it will not actually copy or place zeros here, we'll put a blank here instead. So the next step is to create the actual report, the first page of the template. I have prepared that, so we're not going to do it, but let's have a look at it, what it looks like right now. So this is the report I want, the template. So there is some space for manual entry before we actually print the report or create a PDF of it, whatever we want to do. Down here is the actual value, and we're picking them from the raw data page as demonstrated. The measurement process is to measure the binding thickness first and the coating thickness after. So we pick this from the E2 column, and this one obviously from the E3 and E4, E5 and so on. So every line increases with 2. So this will just populate the raw data. Over here is a chart, and this chart is obviously just picking values from the table on the left-hand side. And at the bottom, I've just added average to demonstrate and min to demonstrate the min value. So let's see how this works from Picsara. So again, just do the 3 very quick measurements like this. I'm not gonna do all 10. And I will create a report, and now I'm using the sample template in step 3. So it obviously works already. Here's my value. They picked from the raw data page. And the binding values, the averages, the values added to the chart. So it's all looking nice now. I will continue now with slightly more advanced way to add data, because obviously it's quite difficult to do this if there's a lot of data with this manual mapping of data from this page to this page. So I will be introducing macros. So I'm going to open up the final template here. And as always, right click open. And before we do anything, we are going to look at page 3 again, the instruction page. And now in cell B3, I have added my script, which basically means that when all the data is exported to the raw data page, Picsara will run the script mentioned here, which is my script. And if we move over to the developer section, if you don't have this tab, you have to Google it or find it in the settings, how to enable it. Because it's not enabled by default. So in the macro section, we will find a script named MyScript, and if I look at it, this is what it looks like right now. So basically it's a script that calls 3 other scripts or procedures. The first one is the most interesting one. It's called copy data. So we change strategy now. Instead of manually having references between the 2 pages, we are going to copy every line in column number E, or the column with the letter E, and gonna place it on the first page. So now this will work in a loop, and it will work regardless how many cells are populated. Obviously our front page only have place for 10 measurements, so if we do more than 10 it's gonna overflow. But I leave that to you to fix. This is more an example. At the same time, I'm going to mention these other. So set page, instruct Picsara Omnimet which of these pages to show when everything is ready. So obviously we want the first page to be shown normally. So page 1. This one, create column headers. actually create these headers at the top when exporting data. So they don't need to be here, or actually if they are here, they will be overwritten. So you will always have the actual header names if you type yes here. I recommend that. Create statistics. Yeah, that actually creates some statistics at the end. I normally do not recommend to use that, but it can be used. Fixed position is quite interesting. That means that all these values and columns are always the same. Always the same. If we change this to no, the raw data table will have the same columns as in the result table in Picsara. And by that I mean this table. So if you have 4 columns here, you will basically have 4 columns in Excel. There are scenarios where this can be useful, but normally it's a lot better to use fixed positions. Export images. It actually takes the last image and sends it as as an image to the raw data page. So we're gonna use that as well. So few instructions you need to know here. The report, I have changed it slightly. So I have added this section with magnification. So this cell is computed based on the raw data. So the logic right now is if every measurement is done with 50, it shows 50. If you have a mixture of magnifications, it will actually show something like different magnifications. The same goes here. If the same calibration factor or unit used in all images or for all measurements, it shows the actual value here. So we can have a look at that script as well. So it's called compute magnification, but obviously it computes both magnification and the calibration factor. So basically it picks the value in the first cell at CX, which in my raw data is way over here. And now there is no data here, but yeah, trust me, it will be there, and we can have a look at it when I've created the report. And simply just check if all values are equal. If so, it will print the value. If not, it will print different magnification used or different calibration factors used. We can try it out. And the final step in the macro is copy image to first sheet. So what this does, it simply just picks the first image on the raw data page and copy paste it to the first page, and then we set the position to our likings. So with this macro, there is no longer a need for manual formulas. Actually, these values should go because they should not be here. And in these should not be there as well. And neither should that one. So this is my empty report. And as you now can see, there is no copy formula here between the report and the raw data, because that will be copied by the macro. So let's try this out. This is a template. I've been working on the template. Very important not to work on the report. So let's save this one and delete it. And now use the same 3 values or 6. And now using the template in step 4. Let's see what that gives to us. Yep. So obviously the script ran very quickly, and it copied value from the raw database, as I said. And every second value goes to the binding column, every one. And we can see there are small numbers here and big numbers here. Actually, all are outside the tolerances, all 3 of them. So I've done something, or I'm measuring on a thicker piece of the specimen. Up here we can see it's been populated with 50, and the calibration factor We can see how the diagram has been populated, and we can also see how the image has been moved to the first page. And just to see it again, here's the raw data, the image is here, and as I promised, on the very right hand side we can find some the magnification used, the calibration used, and so on. Also the date. There's some information regarding the image, the measurement in itself. So we have a kind of transferred this boring raw data table into a fairly nice looking report. That will actually conclude this this training session. I hope you find it useful, and good luck with creating your own reports. Bye bye.